like to welcome you all to the Lavish Life Magazine podcast, where we rep with nothing but the hottest. Are you shitting me? Yeah. We got the one, the only, Shang on Pep Talk. He's in the building. What's up, Shang?
What it do? Is this how we doing?
Comedy Jam.
Is this what we do? Is this what we doing today? Is this what we doing? Yeah, what's going on, man? What's good?
I love it.
I was like, I watched a few of the shows, and I said this to him before we started. I said, man, I'm telling you right, your voice is definitely makes women's panties drop. Because I was listening to him. Is his voice really that deep? Like, yeah, welcome to Pep Talk. I'm like, God damn. I'm a raging heterosexual. And I was like, oh my God, did he just play welcome to Pep Talk? I feel so flush. Nah, man, your voice is crazy, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
you got a great radio slash. Yeah, you could be like, you can do the next Avengers easily.
Oh, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you, Shane.
Man,
thanks for coming on the show. And coming from you, that means a lot, man. Thanks for coming to Pep Talk, though, man. We here to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We here to talk to Shane, Def Jam Comedy Jam. Come on. He has done it all.
Yeah.
Not only Def Jam Comedy Jam. We talking about Comic View. I mean, the list goes on. You are what we call extraordinary, and we really appreciate you coming.
And I will take that at my age.
Yes.
I'm 75 years old, and I will take that at 75. I am 106 years old. I used to do sets between each supper at the Last Supper. That's how. Yeah. Like people like, get the fuck out of here. You didn't do that. So nah, man, I appreciate being on here. No, real shit.
We really appreciate it. Let's talk, man. This is Pep Talk. We here to talk. Let's talk about how it all got started.
Right.
Let's go back.
Okay, we get the applause.
Yeah.
Nah, man. This cat. I mean, I was goofy anyway. I don't know if y'all can tell. I got a little goofy in me. And he bet me like $50, and at the time I needed that $50 so bad.
Right.
He said, "Man, you would never get on stage in front of a bunch of people." And I got up there and told some jokes, and it was original shit. It wasn't like I told jokes. Like, why did chicken cross the road? I don't know, motherfucker. Like, I didn't do that kind of shit. I had actual material. My first set. I remember my first joke was when albino people die, they cremate them and make bottles of whiteout. And that was one of my first bits. And I thought about that was a bit. It wasn't just like me talking shit. I actually thought about it. So I did pretty good the first 7 times, and then I bombed the 8th time. And then after I bombed, it made me mad. And I said, now I'm gonna do the shit for real. So I kept doing it. And I'm still doing it. And I'm luckily, I still am doing it and making a living.
That is so dope. That is definitely dope. Let's talk about, let the people know, because a lot of people may not, we got some foreigners. We got some people that.
You got some foreigners. We got some people not to know. We got some, yeah.
So let them know where you're from. Let them know where you're from.
A lot of people don't realize it. NYC all day. You know what I'm saying? Brownsville.
Yeah.
So for the people that don't know, now you know. And Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
So, but the main thing is, and I also lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because I went to school there.
Okay.
I went to artist.
Well, I'm not from Pittsburgh, but I'm from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's same shit.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's kind of conservative, but and they didn't know what to do with me, So at the time, I had a mohawk. I had dread mohawk. So at that time they're like, "The fuck? What is he?" And to me it was normal because I was into the Black Rock Coalition.
Okay.
The Black Rock Coalition at the time, and in New York it was real big. The Black Rock Coalition. You look at artists like Lenny Kravitz, who's Black Rock, and there's a lot of, if you look at the Black Punk, there was Black Punk scene too.
Right.
So I fucked with them, and that inspired a lot of my comedy too. That edginess to go straight forward at them, but
Right.
have some intellect behind it, not just who like pussy juice, and then no, because I know there was some black comics was killing it with that kind of jokes, like, hey, pussy juice, boy, woo, and then like black people and white people dance different. And I said to myself, I want to be edgy and forceful, but I don't want to be like that kind of shit. I don't want to say shit like that. I want to say something with a little bit of substance and back it up with something. And then I got more conscious and political as my career went on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
That applause shit that's crazy. That's just crazy. I like that.
Come on, man.
Let's go. No, that's dope. That's dope, man. Come on. That shit is dope. Like, I wish I could have applause when I just do some regular shit.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, man. I just clean the kitchen and just press the button. You go up to a woman, hey, you know what? You very pretty. Come on, man. I want that in my real life.
No, you're silly. But come on, let's get back to the interview. Listen.
Sorry.
Okay. So, let me ask this question. Okay, the Shang, who gave you this name? How you came up with that?
Pop's friend was Asian. So, yeah.
So are you Asian descent?
No. My pop's friend.
Oh.
And my pop's friend. And what happened was they was drinking. Said, you know what, man, you're a good dude. And that was it. I'm gonna name him after you. It wasn't it wasn't like some special, like I went and fought in with the Wu-Tang or somewhere.
Yeah.
People think, oh, why'd you get that name? It's like, nah, man. It was like just, you know, his friend was his friend. Is like, and so I'm named after him.
Wow, that's dope. I think that's real dope.
Yeah.
Now, we know we have the pandemic thing going on and stuff like that. Talk to us, how you dealing with that?
How am I dealing with the pandemic and the lockdown? A lot of porn. Yeah, way too much. A little too much. I think I need to, you know, it's weird getting kicked off of porn sites. You know, it's weird where they go, you know what? I don't think you should be here. I think you really are. Yeah, a lot of porn, a lot of look at people probably listen to it going, you know what? That's the same shit I'm doing. But no, I'm you know, trying to get as much backlog work I had to get done, and that's what I'm so behind on so much shit. So I was trying to get a bunch of shit done, and that's what I've been doing, catching up on that. And you know, me and my son hang out, and you know, I got my boy. You know, I got one son here, my other son, my little one's with his mom right now. So for now, and so that's what I've been doing, and doing Zoom shows. I actually been doing Zoom shows and interviews over, and like it's weird. I'm getting contacted from like Africa. I've done some interviews in Africa, and I got one coming up from London. Like, so Shang, what? I mean, when are you coming back over to tell some jokes to us? Right, it would be fantastic. I mean, that's how this brother talked. It was great. It was like, we love your comedy over here, and we think you're fantastic. I was like, wow. I just thought he was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot more interviews and really focusing on social media.
That's cool. Yeah. I think that's dope. Talk to us more on a more serious note, because
all right. Let's get into it then. All right.
But talk to us. How do you feel about the police brutality, things that's going on in the world today?
Well, I just posted something on my gram. If y'all get it, go to my gram, y'all. Y'all see the shit I just posted. @comedian Shang. Go to the Instagram and check it out. The police were initially called, you know, basically nigger catchers. That's what they called them. They were for runaway slaves and slaves that weren't deemed free yet. So they were, you know, formed to do that. And I think it's just an extension of their racism and racial bias. And I think that's why the police feel like they're justified for the shit they do. And until we upend the entire fucking system, because the judicial system's full of shit, and they've been full of shit. I mean, there's a double bias. Why is it one person does the exact same thing as another person, and he gets 7 to 10 years, and the other person gets 6 months?
Yeah.
Rape. This white dude raped this girl behind a dumpster. He ended up getting 6 months because they said prison would be bad for him. And this other football player Apparently he did do it as a brother that he did rape her, and he got 10 years. And so, I mean, prison's bad for him too. And it wasn't, and the one rape was more violent than the other rape. So we already know the police are full of shit. And the good police say, well, there's good police. Well, if there's good police, police the bad police. The fuck you doing?
Yeah.
So until they do that, they all can collectively kiss my ass. And I mean that.
I mean it too.
Yeah.
I definitely mean it. So we got you on Def Jam, you on.
Yeah.
You know,
I just got a check from Netflix because they did a Def Jam 25th anniversary. And they used, I felt honored that they, out of all the clips they could have picked of comics, they picked like over the years, they picked one of my clips from one of my Def Jams.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to think thousands of comics, and they picked a clip of me, and I was very honored. I mean, the check wasn't huge. I wish I did get one of those Netflix big checks. But I was just like, oh shit, I got a check from Netflix. And then you get checks from them, and it's, you know, even just a little check. I was just honored that whoever edited it or cut it said, yeah, man, let's use this dude. That was funny what he said, because I was going in on people who back racists. The bit was about people who back racists and people who didn't know David Duke was a Klansman. Like, and I would just start calling them names like they're idiots. It's like the dude said he's a Klansman, and yet you still were voting for him to run for Congress. Fuck all y'all. So that Netflix was a nice little thing to get in. It kept me afloat from a standpoint of thinking, okay, I'm still very viable.
And that you are. We appreciate you, though. We appreciate you. Talk to us more about, why did you get into comedy? What made you say, I want to be a comedian?
It was a work release program. It was like, yeah, there's part of my parole. They was like, look, man, you need to tell some jokes to crippled kids in the Bronx, or we're putting you back in the cell. You know what? I think it was a natural transition, because I was one of those people. You ever remember the 5%ers that used to be in Manhattan? They used to be like, and the black man is God. And I would sit there and listen to them, and I saw how much they moved people. And so I started speaking out like that at different places. But for some reason, because of my demeanor, I was getting laughs.
Right. So
it was more like, I was dead serious. Like, how come no black people don't get the pencils and the white kids get the pencils? I was one of those dudes. I was like, hey man, fuck pandas. Pandas are race traitors because they race mixed. And I was like, pandas and orcas and all of that shit. I was like, I hated like the white keys. What about the white keys? Why the white key? Like, I was that crazy. Right. And so, but I was saying it, but I kept getting laughs. And one brother was like, man, you should do comedy. And I was like, nah, man, it's too intense. And then I went to a comedy club, and the dude bet me I wouldn't do it, and I did it. And then the owner was like, man, you really should do this.
Right.
And got my phone number, and I thought he was bullshitting, and called me. Hey man, we got an open mic next week. You should come down. I'm like, nah, I'm not coming down. For about a month and a half, I was like, nah, I ain't doing this shit. And then he's like, man, if you need, man, I tell you what, we'll give you free drinks and a dinner. But like, hey, yeah, all right. I came down and I did it, and then I did good. And then that rush from getting laughs, it's like, wow, this is a real different feeling. And also some girl came up to me and rubbed my chest and said, you were so funny. I was like, oh shit, I'm doing comedy. It's on. No, the main reason was, how can I get out the shit I bitch about and get laughs and get paid for it?
That's dope.
That's the core of what it was.
But I mean, I must say, it is a platform to expression.
Right.
You see a lot of times, most comedians, they express. You think a lot of stuff you look at and you'd be like, okay, especially when you're looking at comedy, you're like, okay, but that really does make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys be hitting directly what the actual world is actually going through, or whatever at that moment of what's going on in the world. And that's what comedy is, man. Listen, it's a form of expression. Express yourself. Hey, get it off your chest, like you say. hey, this is what I've known you guys to do, and you guys have been iconic to us, to be honest.
Right. I think black people need laughter sometimes so they won't stab their neighbor in the forehead with a spoon. Because you know what, we got so much shit we deal with.
Yeah.
And I think that if without sometimes getting your laugh on, you really would, it would be a more tense world. And that's why I think comics are like doctors. Because I know people that hit me up, brothers from prison, you know, that have been in prison and said, yo, man, I used to watch Comic View, man, just to get through the day, man. You made me laugh, man. And you seem like you was kind of edgy with it. And so I've done performances at hospitals, little kids, and they laughing their ass off. And then, you know, you could tell they feel better. Right. So and then first it was I need to get my voice out thing. Then when I started making people feel good, I started getting addicted to the fact that I can make somebody smile and laugh and not feel bad. Right. But I still was like, had that other part of me was like, yo, I got to get this shit off my chest. Yeah. We got to talk about police brutality, make a joke about it, make it funny, but we got to talk about this. We got to talk about, you know, segregation. We got to talk about it. And that was also the influences of the main cats that influenced me, the main comics that made me want to get deeper into it. Right. And they was intense with it. And I still appreciate them to this day. You know, like people don't realize, like these young comics, because I've been doing a long time, they don't realize a lot of the shit you get from other people. Yeah. You get like a lot of stuff you're doing, you don't realize, you know what, Richard Pryor used to talk like that. Yeah. You know, but somebody young might not know Richard Pryor was one of the baddest motherfuckers to do comedy. Yeah. That's true. You know, to them, it's Kevin Hart. Not realizing Richard Pryor pretty much, and Richard Pryor was a segue to Eddie Murphy. Yeah. Eddie Murphy, who I thought was one of the best ever, stand-up wise and just comedically. But yeah, I was majorly influenced by some really strong comics, and I think that helped me, and that's why I think I've had at least a comedy career. I haven't had a longevity in acting career, but comedy wise, I think that I've stayed afloat because of those guys. Yeah. And I got to get in props. And I hate when motherfuckers don't act like the people before them actually gave them credence to what they do. That's what are you talking about? Like without a Richard Pryor, I'm telling you, there wouldn't have been an Eddie Murphy.
You got to pay the homage. You definitely got to pay the homage, right? You got to pay homage. You can't just think that you can walk through life and don't look back and see who have actually paved the way for you to be who you are.
You're right. You're right. I think that. I look at it. I mean, that's 100. That what you just said is definitely 100. And I think that there's some comics that I see now that don't realize Bernie Mac. Like to me, Bernie Mac was a monster. Like he was he's a killer. Like we have some comics that are killers and some that aren't. Bernie Mac. And Bernie Mac was a killer. And to me, you know, he influenced some people, and they just sometimes don't give props to that. I know the people that influenced me. Without question. And I don't have a problem with saying that. Now, we're not, because my personality's not like theirs, but they definitely influenced me. I wouldn't bite their material because back in the day, bite material, you get your ass beat.
I know that.
You get somebody else's joke, somebody punch you in your fucking throat. Like, they would knuckle bundle you to the brain basket and then pick you up and body slam you down the steps, then jump on your back, ride you down the steps till you got to the bottom. And then when they got to the bottom, like, hey, don't ever do my joke again, motherfucker. And then you go back.
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true. Let's talk about
either you go to jail or you go do your next set.
Yeah, that makes sense. That really is true, though. You really will get in trouble for that. They don't play that beat.
They don't play that.
Beat biting, don't jack my style, don't tag over my name, you know.
Yeah, it was real like that. And I've seen comics pull guns on each other. I've seen comics literally bust each other in the head over that shit.
No, really?
Yeah, at Def Jam, during Def Jam. Ooh. One comic did another bit's comics, and the comic was in the back watching him. During the taping said, hey, I'm gonna see you, homie. During the taping. And the first time he saw him, when we were back in LA, he saw him, he said, I told you. And I'm talking about he gave him a 3-piece of soda and then wiped it up with a napkin. I mean, he pieced this dude up.
Wow.
And I was sitting there going, well, you shouldn't have did his bit word for
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
on Def Jam. That means something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these accolades you got.
Okay, here we go. That's it. That's hard for me to do because I feel like I ain't made it till I really made it. I ain't made it yet. Until
Yeah.
I ain't made it till I can hire dwarves to hand me shit off the ground. That's
Okay.
when you rich. When you rich enough, like, hey, little dude, hand me that shit off the ground. That's when you know you're rich. So I mean, I want to be, and if I was rich, I would open up a community center for kids. That would be the one thing. I see these rich people not doing that. I go, don't you understand? Getting these kids off the street, giving them something to do, and that would be bus fare for you compared to you buying a gold fucking Rolls Royce, you idiots.
Yeah.
I hate dudes like that.
Yeah.
Give back. You already are rich you're rich, and your kids are rich forever.
Mm-hmm.
So help these other kids that don't have that opportunity. I hate these little flossy motherfuckers.
But
sometimes I want to rob them, and I'm not really like that. But sometimes I just want to rob them just cause. I don't know. That's wrong. Okay, that's wrong. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But let's get back to the
let's get back to that.
The accolades. Let's talk about it. I mean, I think it's more in a conversation.
Yeah.
Two-time BET Comic View Grandstand winner, HBO Def Jam, Poetry, Gotham Live, Star's first annual. I mean, these things. Let's just talk about first. Let's talk about the two-time BET Comic View Grandstand window. What's that about? Let people know what kind of accolade that is.
Okay, so what they used to do is they used to have a contest on Comic View where all the comedians would compete against each other, and then the best comedians at the end would compete against each other for a half-hour special and to be deemed Grandstand champ. And so I competed the first time, and I had to go against a couple comics, Arnaz J.
Oh, he's
it was Arnaz J. It was a couple hitters, and I ended up getting it. And getting a special. And then the second time I did it again, it was like hitters. It was all heavy hitters and very funny comics. Mm-hmm. And I think because I changed up a lot of material and I mixed my stuff up, mm-hmm. I think that's the reason I won the second time. Because a lot of guys, what they did was they did the same set that they did before. And I had literally wrote a whole new set. Mm-hmm. So even though they were funny as hell, I mean, I'm not saying they weren't funny, but mine seemed fresher, even though they were funny. Mm-hmm. You know, so so it means you're Grandstand champion, and I got a commercial out of it, and I got a pretty good amount of bookings from it. But you were and the audience voted. They would call in. Mm-hmm. They went by call in. How many people called in? Mm-hmm. So that's how it was. Just like same thing as they do with the singing. Right. So I won twice, and the first one I won, but the second one I won by a lot, and then I also won another one called Famecast.
Yes.
And I won Famecast, which was more of a mainstream one, mm-hmm. and the Famecast one was like 10 grand, and you got a bunch of stuff. But that one I won by a lot because by that time I was into social media. I knew how to promote myself social media wise.
Right. So. Now, what about Def Jam? You won Def Jam as well, right?
Yeah, I did Def Jam twice. Def Jam was harder because, like, I'll give you an example, man. At first, they wasn't feeling me. I'll be honest, to promote the talent coordinator mm-hmm. wasn't feeling me, and that's okay. I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I get it. It kills me when people think everybody's supposed to like you. No, they're not. And some people don't want to come to comedy and hear me talk about, fight the power and the government. Some people just want to hear about booty juice. Who wants some booty juice? And then walk, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I get it. Somebody said, and then Russell Simmons saw me. Okay. And asked me when I had already tried to get on the show, couldn't get on the show. And Russell Simmons saw me and asked me, why weren't you on the show? Why aren't you on the show? I said, you tell me. I showcased. I tried. Yeah. And then I end up getting on the show right after that. So shout out to Russell Simmons. I know people say stuff about, shout out to Russell Simmons. He was my boss for a couple of years when I was doing One World Music Beat. I was the host of One World Music Beat. Thank you so much, man. And Def Jam changed everything.
I mean, I don't care what they say about Russell. Russell, I mean.
Pioneer.
He is. He's
Yeah,
definitely a pioneer. I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, he paved the way for a lot of people's careers.
You're right. I think musically, and if you think about it musically and comedically, a lot of cats that's bigger names wouldn't be. I think that put them on. I think that Bernie Mac. I mean, be real with you. Bernie Mac's Def Jam changed his life. I think that I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Kick it. When he
Mhm.
did that,
Yeah.
everything changed. So I mean, it changed my life to a point, but I didn't resonate. I resonated with the general public more than I did industry. Industry didn't want to fuck with me as much, but general public, I'm talking about. I mean, hard thug ass niggas yelling at that car, yo, Shang, man, you funny as hell, bro. We coming to your show, son. I'm like, yo, man, just please don't come with guns. Just come to the
Yeah.
show. And then, but for some reason, the industry wasn't feeling me. But I did extremely well with the general public.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah. Especially as black folks, you have done very well with us.
Yeah. But for some reason, industry, they were like, I don't know. He's kind of aggressive. Really? He really said that? Why did he say that? I'm so offended. Yeah, they didn't like some of the shit I said.
But talk to us about this. Let's talk about who is like the tough act to follow, because comedy.
Oh, you really okay?
I mean, let's talk about the tough acts to follow.
Okay,
like when you know, let's go Def Jam. Who was a tough act to follow?
I had to follow Paul Mooney. And he's like, let the angry yellow nigga go up after me. I'm Paul motherfucking Mooney. Listen, nigga. He'll go up after me. So no, I mean, he was hard to follow, but I think that I had such a good following in the streets. It helped me because when I did Def Jam, my first taping, and I was so lucky to get it. I had about 140 people in the audience. I literally walked around the streets because I was so excited that I got it. I was like, damn, I'm gonna be on HBO. I literally was stopping people in the street. Hey man, you wanna come to a taping? HBO? And I didn't know them. I just walk up to strangers. Listen, I'm gonna be on Def Jam. Here, I'll get you tickets, come to the show. So I just invited everybody. I invited family, my mother, anybody I could think of, you know what I'm saying? So when I walked out, I got a huge applause and people were like, nobody knows this motherfucker. But they didn't realize I had invited a bunch of people. I invited a bunch of people to the show. Wow. So that helped me too, because I think I would have been more scared. I would have probably been real scared if I didn't have that support.
Right.
I was following hitters. I mean, they were hitters. Earthquake. Earthquake is
Earthquake. Earthquake be going ham on social media.
Earthquake is a piece. I had to follow him. The video that's playing on, for the people that can watch this, not just the podcast version, it was a show called Laffapaloolza. Jamie Foxx's Laffapaloolza.
Yes.
And Jamie Foxx's had a death in the family, and he was supposed to host, and he ended up leaving, and they brought in Earthquake. So the Earthquake would go up in the beginning and do like 10, 15 minutes, as he should as the host, and destroy. So, I mean, just murk the room. And so I went up last. So they put comics between us, but every time Earthquake came on stage between the comics, he would kill. And he ripped before I went up. But what happened for me, luckily, because I'm an aggressive comic, I rode the wave of the level of the laughs. So I came out and I said some wild shit right off the bat. And because of that, I got the crowd, and then it went really well. And then I was blessed to get a bunch of good shit from that, and got on Comedy Central's radar, because at first they wasn't feeling me either. Then afterwards, like, wow, so Shang, listen, maybe we can use you for a few things. Good Lord, that yellow guy, he was actually funny. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I mean, it was like I got on a bunch of other comedy shows, and I got on Latino shows because they thought I was Latin, because I go, I'm a high yellow, and they don't know what I was. And I got on the Latin shows, Comedy Cabana and Que Locos. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Hey, money, I'll do that shit.
Yeah.
$1,200? I know people that'll kill you for $1,200. So I was like, I'll go up and tell some jokes for $1,200. And I was back on rent. I owed like, it was weird. It was weird. I got one of the shows and when I say the timing was perfect, because I had lost a bunch of live dates. The guy canceled and picked a bigger comic than me. In fact, I'll tell you who the comic. It was Mike Epps. And I ain't mad at Mike Epps, but they were like, do we get Shang or Mike Epps? So they picked Mike Epps, so they bumped me off my shows. Like, we're gonna use him, not you. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that was my rent. That was my, that's my money. That's my subway pass. That's my everything. So, so me getting the show was partly my funny and partly like desperation. They're like, man, my landlord's like, man, you real cool and you funny too. But if you don't give me my motherfucking money, guess what? You're gonna be a homeless, funny motherfucker. And so I got the check, and this is how bad it was. I got the check from them. I literally wrote the check over to my landlord. Like, hey man, here you go. He said, man, I feel like I just did TV. Like, no, nigga, I did TV. But yeah, it was that bad. And so, but then after it aired, didn't have that problem.
I love it. I love it. These are the stories we love because this lets you know about the struggle. It doesn't only just, it sounds funny now, but
but then it wasn't funny at all.
It wasn't funny then. But we appreciate these stories because these stories let the youth and younger people who know that, man, this is a journey. It's a journey to get to where I had to be, where I am today, rather.
Yeah, you're
Talk to us about the journey. Talk more about the journey. You gave us one. Give us another one.
Okay, I'll give you an example. For me, like working overseas, I was always I wanted to work overseas in London, and I wanted to do worldwide. And so when it was so hard to get booked over there, people weren't feeling me. And then I finally got booked over there, and then it was like almost, I showed you. I felt like that was another time in my career where I feel like I told you I would kill overseas. And I'm talking about literally murdering every goddamn show over there because I came out of nowhere. That's like a boxer that you didn't know could box real good, and all of a sudden you see him, but he'd been boxing good for years. Right. So I say that, and also some of the rejections that I got where people would write shows for me, but they would have to go with a bigger name instead of me.
Wow.
But the style of the show was written because of me. So stuff like that, and people would always wonder, why wouldn't I get mad? I go, because that just is not part of my path. That's not, what am I gonna do, get mad at Chappelle? What am I gonna get mad at the people that they pick? No, I'm like, let me just stay in my lane, be strong, handle my business, and hopefully this shit will flip, because as good as I've done, and I know this, you don't understand, I know people who are balling out of control that own like llamas, and you know what I'm saying? It's like they take a different, like, I don't know what you need a llama for. That, like, hey man, come on in the house, man. Hey, by the way, that's my alpaca. Yeah, I bought that. For what? For what? For who? But like, I bought a tiger. For what? Like, who are you balling for? But I think that, I've stayed afloat. I've done all right. The people that know me, and the people that don't know me, gonna know me. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Talk to us more about the craziest things that happen on the road with you as a coach.
Oh shit. This is so okay, this is real shit. I was doing a show in Denver. I forget the AD, I think his name. The comic was AD. This is two different ADs, the light skinned AD and his real dark skinned AD. Talking about the other AD. Not the light skinned brother. He's out of Cali, and then there's one I think out of Colorado. I can't remember. And we were doing a show, and this dude kept making jokes about gay people. And there was this gay dude in the audience like, stop it. You better stop it. And I guess, he thought he was the dude on stage, comic on stage, thought he was a punk, started talking shit to him. Right. So the gay dude said, I'm going to give you one more time, okay? And then I'm going to come up there and I'm going to beat the brakes off you. And he said it I'm doing a perfect impression of this dude. Perfect.
Right.
Dude said, you ain't going to do shit, faggot motherfucker. And this gay dude came up and proceeded to beat this dude within an inch of his life. Right? People were scared. Audience. I still have to go up on stage.
Right.
So he beats him to a pulp. this is a black club, so security like, look, man, you shouldn't have said nothing about the gay dude.
Yeah.
And they drag there's blood on the stage. There's blood, like not a little bit. I'm talking about blood. They get the other comic out. I guess he got to go to the hospital. Whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think show's over. I'm thinking, well, I ain't gonna do the show. Dude goes, hey man, get up on stage. The people still here paid. Like, I gotta go up. And they didn't kick the gay dude out. And I came on stage, and the first thing I said is, man, you ain't gotta worry about shit I'm gonna say about you. In fact, I love that half top you're wearing. And a lot of men can't pull off a half top, but you can. He said, thank you. Now this person is funny. And I finished my show. I ain't never did a show where I'm standing in puddles of blood. This is a real story. And a couple comics was there like, wow. Yeah. And because the dude was like, man, the people that stayed here, they paid their money. They want to see a comedy show. I'm like, why didn't they leave?
Now, what city this was in?
Denver.
Ooh.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver, Colorado, this happened.
Wow.
And then the other one was a club, well, I got two other ones real quick. I did a place in Philly called Stitches. And this is crazy, the club's called Stitches. It was a very Italian place. The guy that owned it was the fucking mafia guy. He's like, hey, go out there and be funny, you yellow nigga, you know, I like what you do. God forbid you're not funny, because you know what? Not only won't you get paid, we're gonna throw you a beat. So I get up on stage, and this dude grabs my leg, says, I don't like the fact, at the time I said something, this is a long time ago, I did a joke about Bush, and he was a staunch Republican. Right. And I thought Bush was just a fucking idiot. I thought he was just a babbling fool, right?
Right.
And I said something about Bush being an idiot. He said, that's my president, don't you say that. And then he grabbed my ankle and tried to pull me off stage. So I blasted him with the mic stand. I just said, oh, that ain't happening. And I blasted him with the mic stand. I'm talking about, I heard him. Yeah, it was bad. And then, of course, that show got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
We do 2 shows a night. And I thought I was going to get fired. I thought, damn, I did get sued. I definitely, he sued the club, and then in turn the club made me pay for the monies. So I didn't make any money. Mm-hmm. This dude did a second show. This dude was like, hey, that guy. Hey, that guy had it coming. Fuck him. Now we're going to do this next show. Please don't hit nobody with the fucking mic. All right? Can you do that for me? Can you fucking do that for me? All right? All right, get out there and make them laugh, you crazy yellow bastard. That really happened. And that shit was crazy. And then I got a thing in the letter later. I got a thing in the mail where he sued me. They sued me.
Oh.
So, and I lost.
I hate to have them clap. Nah,
Did you act clap for me too? No, you did not act like, yeah, man. Give a hand for the comic that got sued. How much money you lose? $8,000. Yeah, $8,000. I'm talking about $8,000 when I wasn't making $8,000. I was making at that time I was making $900 for the weekend.
Wow.
So I had to do a bunch of gigs to pay that back.
Yeah.
But then that was cool. And then I did another show in New York where a lady got drunk and vomited on the stage. And again, I don't know what's up with these people. The whole time, the whole place smells like vomit. Nobody left. They take her out. Obviously, she was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished my set. I don't know, and I of course, because I made jokes about her vomiting, but it was so weird, and nobody left. I'm like, so you're just gonna sit here with vomit smell? So I was like, well, if y'all gonna stay, and I had learned my lesson from the other one where they told you got to keep going, no matter what happens, keep going, do your set. And I stayed on stage with vomit.
Wow.
So, and a bunch of comics like, hey, Vomit Man, when's your next show? Like, man, y'all need, if y'all niggas don't vomit. Yeah, hey, like, it's weird, because comics are little petty bitches. They love backbiting, yogurty. Yeah. They're all yogurty.
Yeah. That's dope. Shane, man, I just want to say, man, we thank you from Lavish Life Magazine, from Pep Talk, our Pep Talk show that we have here. We thank you for stopping by, coming by, sharing your moments, sharing your vision, your thoughts, everything that you had, that you gave us and you left us here at Pep Talk. do us a favor. Give everybody your social media platforms so they can follow you. Tell everybody where to go get the latest stuff, especially your stuff that you got on. Give the website one more time.
Okay, yo, everybody that's listening, don't mess around. Don't talk about it, be about it. All right? Go to the website. I am Shang. IAMSHANG. Very easy. Ain't a lot of brothers named Shang, so you can find me. IamShang.com. And they got all my information. Make sure you subscribe to all of our Savage AF information. And this is important because I know this is what people count. Instagram, comedian, SHANG, comedian Shang. Very easy to find. Please follow me. Tell your friends to follow me. And I always will bring the funny, and I'll be full blast and 100 all the time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, thank you. And we must say we have come to the end of the Lavish Life Magazine podcast. This is Pep Talk. We had Shang, comedian Shang, in the building. He came, he conquered, he let you know what was going on with him. We thank him. And I say to my brother, JB, rest in peace.